Hey, what's happening, Cincinnati Soccer Talkers? Welcome to another episode of CST. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. We're talking about the Major League Soccer regular season tonight, folks. Can you believe it? It is actually here. FC Cincinnati week, the result against the Chicago Fire. Cincinnati's own Nick Hagglund, FC Cincinnati defender, here on the King's Hammer hotline here in just a few moments. We're also going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later on in the show so that you can have your say, FC Cincinnati fans. We want your predictions. We want to know where FC Cincinnati is going to finish in the league table this year, who's going to be the leading scorer for FC Cincinnati this year, and who's going to be your MLS Cup champion for 2019. So get in touch with us on the King's Hammer hotline a little bit later on in the program, 513-399-KICK. We've got Brian Weigel, we've got Bill Wolf here tonight. It's going to be a fun one, folks. So welcome in my cast of characters this week.
Had last week, but no, glad to be back here and talk with one of my other great buddies that I'm sure you'll introduce next.
That's right. That right there is the sound of the Wolfman. We were welcome him, making him his triumphant return to the show. Bill, how you been, buddy?
Busy, but great to be back. Great to be talking soccer and watching some soccer and watching the round ball
tonight. You're going to have to be patient with us in just a few moments. Let's talk about what happened last week. We'll start first with the Chicago Fire.
I would call them more of a backup type of team out there. It was definitely not the players that we expected to see starting this coming weekend. It was similar for Chicago. So you had a lot of sort of second players playing second players. Maybe not the prettiest of games. We certainly didn't look strong, but for the first half, we sort of held on null or nil or whatever you want to say. Sorry, I'm encoding language these days. Came out in the second half, and they managed to get one on us when they upped their lineup a little bit, and then Lamar with that just killer strike for us. It's great to see. Obviously, we need probably to have a little more.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed overall in how some of our USL players played in that match. Just again had issues dictating. You had some really high level guys though for Chicago, the Katai player that gave us fits, but overall I just kind of wanted to get some individual performance evaluations out of that match versus an overall how we play. I kept looking at how we played on Saturday versus the Crew, more as the indicator how the team stood going into the regular season. So that was kind of a worry of mine. I did eat my words though, I guess, from last week when I called out Roland Lamar. He comes in the preseason. No, I'm joking. It didn't write him off, but yeah, it was interesting to say the least to see how that comment went last week. But overall, was happy that we got the 1-1 point, even though that was definitely one of the games where I felt like we truly didn't deserve, I guess, a point. Which when we're going to talk about this later in the year and everything is how we earn points versus do we play in a style to earn the full 3, or do we kind of have what we had last year, just some individual moments of brilliance after some good we'll see.
To be fair, I mean, I think the last 20 minutes, we certainly were able to dictate the game and attack them a little more. We might have had a little bit of this to take out of it, impact to make a bench players even didn't really show up in the way
that was just a precursor for what was it real all right Saturday night if you're a fan of that season.
It was hell.
That was tough to watch Saturday night, Bri.
Yeah, it definitely was. The first 30 minutes of that match, I wish I could almost get like 30 minutes of my life back. It was kind of to that level. So that was quite disappointing. What looked like a very strong lineup for FC Cincinnati, perhaps switching out Eric Alexander for Darren Maddox going into the regular season. So you felt like it was a pretty solid squad for Columbus, pretty solid squad for FC Cincinnati. Let's see how it goes. And what you saw was a lot of passing between the FC Cincinnati center backs, long ball up to Lamar, Alexander, or Adi, turnover. I kind of made the rules, sometimes coach say, don't let guys get near you. Well, that's when you have the ball, and it felt like that on defense. We didn't get close to anybody on defense. We just let them go right on by, had issues marking, barely got out of our positional defensive shape. So really a rough rough end of the preseason when I was trying to hopefully end on a high note, especially with Hell is Real.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that Columbus was, obviously a strong team. You could tell that these guys were used to playing with each other. I mean, they had an advantage there on us. There's no doubt of that. But I mean, it was a clinic. I mean, and they're, completely like cutting us off. We have no passing avenues. We have nowhere to go. Our players aren't coming to the ball, and we're just hoofing it out of there. So yeah, it's disappointing, to see a team like Columbus play so strongly. Where they are playing as a team, working together, moving the ball around, short, quick passes, always moving on the ball, always moving off the ball, and then to work in that situation.
So did you think, Bill,
yeah,
did you see like anybody who, I guess, surprised or actually fairly played well? We're talking about a lot of negative things, on social media.
Yep.
Saw, TT's terrible, Lamah's terrible. I looked at Lamah outside of his red card and thought he actually played fairly well. He had some creative chances. He got on the ball. Was one of the few players that looked comfortable running at the Columbus back line. Anybody else that stuck out for you?
On the flip side, part of our issue and even Alan Koch said this, we didn't come out with the energy we needed to. Well, he was showing energy. I mean, he was very, he was going at those players. Obviously, he lost his whatever there, and we ended up with a red card, and that cost us any opportunity at all. But that these things happen or whatever. And to me, at least, the fact that he was running at the players, he was challenging. He wasn't letting them just dribble around and have a lot of space, which is what we were seeing with Columbus. They had a lot of space to make passes and a lot of time. But the other one, I would say, honestly, we're going to talk to him a little bit, but Hagglund, I thought, looked pretty good. I mean, in the back, I mean, Waston was out there. We've been talking a lot about Waston. He made his debut, or maybe he played a little bit in some of the IMG. I don't know, but I haven't seen much out of him. And he got out there, but not that I thought he looked bad, but he looked like he was only going to get 50 minutes or 60 minutes, and he was kind of working his way back in. But Hagglund definitely looked strong to me. I liked his energy. I liked his attitude out there, as far as I'm not going to let balls get through. He definitely was defending from the heart, I would say, at times. It was fun to watch. Definitely like those players. And then if I throw a third out there, and I'm just going to be controversial, but people were bashing on Audie because because people like to bash on our nines. It's just a tradition every year. I've watched him for several games now. I just don't get it. I mean, to me, he seems like he's doing a lot of hard work. He's doing a lot of running. He's coming back at times way further back than I think he should. But that's where the ball is. And, somehow we need to link the ball to him. It's not his fault that he's standing up there on an island waiting for something to come. He's coming back to make things happen. And I definitely don't see issues up there. So
I agree. Now he did have a touch or two that probably let him down, but who doesn't? In a game, and he had some chances. There was a chance. And I think if we go into Seattle and we're still playing the same formula where we have Deplan in a 3-man back line launching the long balls over the top of our 2 D mids, I think that's going to spell a lot of trouble. I was really surprised we didn't generate a lot through our quote unquote wingback play. Look how good Powell and Maddox looked last Saturday, and you saw nothing up that flank on this Saturday versus Columbus. So things I want to look into, probably the first 20 minutes in the Seattle match. Of course, we're going to talk to Dave Clark March to match day, but sure that we can. How many times did we cross the ball from one side of the field to the other versus Columbus? We didn't do that very much. We got so stagnant, didn't really move around, and didn't give our guys, chances. We didn't give our center backs chances to pass through the middle just because we really weren't moving well. So, lot to look forward to, I guess you could say, when you talk about improvement, starting pretty low for FC Cincinnati. I guess it's kind of a good thing we play 3 of the best teams to start the expectations.
Seeing anything out of him, he would be, by all expectations, our starting left back. And Justin Hoyt stepped in to fill that role. Obviously, he played for a bit, and then Blake Smith took over. But those players would those players play, And on top of that, I mean, we're not even working some of the pairings, right? I mean, if we would expect Lamar on the left and Garza on the right, we're not seeing those two working together yet. And that's going to, I mean, if you look at our schedule, we're playing like 4 of the top 5 Western teams in the first 2 months. We only get one shot at each Western team, and we're reaching out of the top of the West to play. We also play the top 2 teams out of the East in that first 2 months as well once. So we're pretty stacked on the front end. Obviously, we have some Eastern teams coming on the end, but it could work out to our advantage. I mean, if you think about this, it could be to the point where we struggle early on, and we saw this last year. We had a lot of a lot more wins and points, then things were awesome and everybody was happy. Well, I don't know if we can expect the same thing. Obviously, we're not economically as advantaged this year as we were last year, but at the same side, if we are starting to gel and we are starting to get some wins and get some points later in the season, being a stronger team against, and then as our team starts to really get it together, we'll play some teams that we have a good shot at getting some points out of.
Yeah, and I think having realistic expectations would be helpful for us. I was somebody, I hate bringing this up, that I called out FC Cincinnati last year in preseason because I felt like we had the best talent on the field, and we should roll teams even on our worst day. Whereas this team, I want to give them a little bit more leeway. We still have great quality talent. I mean, look at that back line. I mean, you got Hagglund, Waston, DePlan's played pretty well. We still conceded 3 times. And I think just giving everybody a little bit more time to gel is probably in everybody's best interest to remain sane in this first year. But I do think there's could be a lot of great things coming out of this club if we just give it a little bit more time.
I agree, Brian. And the other thing I think, to be fair, is if you back up, let's say 2 months, we knew that we were coming into this year with a handicap, and we had to find a way to be competitive. I think our expectations were low for the season, and rightfully so. And then, Alan and Luke and Jeff started signing all these players, and we started getting excited. And I think sometimes we're our own worst enemy. We just need to settle down, give it time, and just, allow this team what it needs, which is time for these guys to get familiar with each other.
All right. Well, speaking of getting time to gel and talking about center back, Nick Hagglund. Nick, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, sir. We had a couple technical things, so I'm glad to get you back here into the Cincinnati Soccer Talk. First off, how's it feel to be back here in Cincinnati?
Amazing. The club, I can't say that I want to be a part of it, but I'm in Toronto. That's my contract. And when I heard that it was going to be MLS, my goal was to at some point get there in my career, and it happened to be the first year. And so I'm really excited to be back in Cincinnati, back with my family. It's just it's an incredible experience.
Nick, I want to say this, personally, as Cincinnati myself, I love seeing a guy from this area repping the shirt. And I always tell this story about you, actually. My dad never was a soccer guy, Xavier grad, Cincinnati, born and bred, always knows about things Cincinnati. And he always would ask about you, even when you played in Toronto. And now the fact that you're here, he was really excited that you were back in Cincinnati. So, I mean, you have all these people just cheering for you. Do you feel an added sense of pressure being a Cincinnatian on this first FC Cincinnati MLS squad?
No, I wouldn't say pressure in terms of, I guess there's a pressure always. I think I'm just really proud to be a part of this team. And I want to represent the club well. And so there's a pressure, I guess, to represent Cincinnati and what Cincinnati is about. But at the same time, I'm just really excited to be here because I know this is the city that made me, and these are the people that I've grown up around, and that I get to play in front of that. And I think it's more of an excitement than a pressure.
So I mean, obviously, you mentioned that you wanted to come to this team as soon as you heard that something was happening, and we had MLS aspirations. So this was kind of your vision when it actually started to happen. I mean, was it you reaching out, or was it FCC reaching out?
So I didn't know how quick it was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to, a lot of the times when it comes to trades and things like that, it's very out of a player's hands. It's much more up to the ownership of Cincinnati and of Toronto being willing to give me up at the same time. So obviously people knew that I was from Cincinnati, and that I would love, there's not many times in a player's career that they have an opportunity to play for their hometown. And so that's obviously, they knew that there was some aspiration for me to go, whether it was this year or 5 years down the line, whatever, that there was always going to be a point where I wanted to play for FC Cincinnati. So I didn't really know anything going into preseason with Toronto. I went to LA, I was there for a week.
On some successful Toronto FC clubs. What has this preseason camp been like compared to your time in Toronto? Has it been, the level of play? I know you used to have CONCACAF Champions League. What have been some of the biggest challenges or changes between FC Cincinnati and Toronto?
Honestly, preseason is an interesting. Every team is coming off of a past. Most teams have a past experience or a season, and there's some certain things that the team wants to change for the next season. So coming into a team that's an expansion team, it's a blank slate. There's nothing previous. Everyone's new. Everyone's coming in. The group is new. So there wasn't like in Toronto, say the year before so that's kind of coming into a expansion team. I feel like is, it's a blank slate. I didn't know these guys' names. None of these guys' names a month ago. So we're all gelling. At the same time, I think that there's a common theme of preseason is that it's roller coasters. You got ups and downs. I could tell you in 2017 when we won MLS Cup, the last game before the first game, we lost 4-1 to Chicago Fire. Absolutely obliterated off the field. And, so I'm not saying that we're going to go win MLS Cup, or maybe I am. Preseason, no one wins MLS Cup in preseason. And it's just, you're, I don't know, as a team, you're just trying to find something. You're working on things, and you kind of make sure that you're getting ready for that first game.
So, Nick, you mentioned the MLS Cup, and, you're one of the few guys in this roster who actually have MLS Cup experience. Maybe talk to our listeners a little bit about what that experience was like and what you bring to this team because of that experience.
Yeah, I mean, we went to back-to-back MLS Cups in 2016, 2017. We lost in 2016 in penalty kicks, which was heartbreaking. And then 2017, we won everything in the league that year. And to be a part of those teams, you get to see what works, and you kind of see that how the small margins in every day, just how important they are. A goal here, all of our playoff games in 2017 were pretty close. And it's an important thing that I can be playing your best soccer at the beginning of the year. It's about getting better every day. Forget about what you're going to look like in 2 months. Forget about what you did yesterday. You're trying to get better today, and it's a process of getting better every day. And hopefully you stack days on top of each other, months on top of each other, and by playoffs, you're the best version of yourself. So you're the best version of FC Cincinnati. And I think that's for me, when things are getting high, we stay right in the middle. And when things are getting low, we stay right in the middle, and we just continue the year. And so for us, I felt like the 2017 specifically, like you win a championship or you win a Canadian Cup, you just continue getting better and just focus on the individual play and the team play every day.
Now, everybody joining us here in the locker room, what have your guys' goals been? What does success look like in the eyes of 2019 FC Cincinnati squad?
Everyone who has come here has a chip on their shoulder, has something. It's going to be Cincinnati against the world. Everyone's going to expect that the expansion team is going to struggle, and so I think for us is to prove them wrong, and we want to be defensively stingy and, give ourselves opportunities to find ways to win games. Some days it's going to be a 1-0 win. Maybe we're in the playoffs and that we've done something for the club.
So Nick, obviously there's gelling going on. There's different people kind of finding their voices within the team. Who is we expect more after last Saturday? Who were the loud voices last weekend?
Yeah, I think Kendall is as captain. He is definitely a leader and the mouthpiece of our team. And I think subtly you have Adi as well. He's been around the team for a while. Who knows kind of what it takes to win Mls Cup and knows what it takes to push forward. And he's stepped up in the locker room, and Victor Ulloa as well, as a guy who's stepped up and, said that we can't accept results like this. We need to keep pushing, but at the same time, this isn't happening. It's better to happen the last game of preseason than the first game of the season where it actually matters, And so these guys stepped up and made sure that it's unacceptable what happened, but also that, we have time to right our wrongs here.
Nick, go out there on us. I'm not sure if I. Oh, Nick, you still there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all right, sorry about that. All right, Nick. Well, we're gonna adjust a little bit here. So I'm gonna ask you. We've had a couple deep questions here. I'm gonna ask you a couple things rapid fire. So quick answer if you want to take it this way. So this is gonna be all over the place. So if you need me to explain, let me know.
Perfect.
Real quick.
All right.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Okay. Messi.
Unless
all right. Ronaldo wins, unless Ronaldo wins Champions League with Juventus, which will be difficult after last week. Oh, sorry, you cut out there.
Sorry, if you could be a superhero, who would you be?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. What is your favorite club to play with on FIFA?
Tottenham.
Tottenham. How are you? Are you pretty good? Are you towards the top on the team in FIFA?
No, I'm actually not good. I had a baby 11 months ago, and so I would say video games are more on the back burner now. If I ever get a chance, preseason had a couple games, but for the most part, yeah. I'm not. I used to be good at FIFA, and I stopped playing about a year ago.
I'm sure Mom and Dad are very happy for you to be back in town due to that little one. I know it's a blessing to have. I know last year a big theme on this team was Fortnite. Any play on Fortnite?
Oh yeah. I'm actually really bad at Fortnite. I wish I was
Your
better,
dad,
but
okay.
I'm a really good. I'm a dad, I'm not good at Fortnite. It takes a while to get good at Fortnite. You have to take like an hour of your time every day to really consistently play.
Oh, so you can do best Netflix binge watching series as well. But what's been the last movie or show that you've been really into?
Last show, it's Man in the High Castle on Amazon.
All right. More rapid fire here with Nick Hagglund on the King's Hammer Hotline. What is your favorite restaurant in Cincinnati?
Soto.
Okay. Did you go with a teammate there?
Mm-hmm. No, actually, me and my wife have been going there for our anniversary the past 4 years. So, and then while we were dating, we would go there as well.
Okay, cool. Now, I'm not sure if your family's in town with you yet or not, if they made the move, but what restaurant have you gone to last that you've taken like a teammate to?
Well, I haven't actually been in Cincinnati too long since I came straight from LA, and then I was in Cincinnati for like 2.5 days. So
I like this, man. All right, what's your favorite thing about Cincinnati, or favorite thing to do in Cincinnati?
Favorite thing to do? Got to go to Skyline. Got to go to Graders. There's nothing better. The double whammy in one sitting.
Sunday cheat day.
And Penn Station, right?
That's right. After 3 points.
There you go. Couple more. What boots do you wear?
Like now.
All right. Now, what's been your favorite moment as a professional soccer player?
Well, there are 3 moments for sure. MLS Cup, carrying my daughter out onto the field the last game last season, and being part of FC Cincinnati.
Awesome. Who is the hardest offensive player to go against in practice?
Either one. Probably Seba.
I was going to ask you about that. No. That's cool. That's a good answer. I get you, man. Okay. We're definitely sad we're not going to see him in Cincinnati or playing against us this year, but I guess that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's great.
two more questions here. What's the number one piece of advice Austin Berry has given you, passing basically the?
I got to run through all the advice that he's been giving me. I wouldn't say he has given me any advice in terms of being a Cincinnati guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he just tells me to get my glutes activated before practice.
Oh man, I bet.
Did he tell you not to tell people you liked Philly cheesesteak?
Oh no, he didn't tell me that. But I'm not a liar. I'm an honest guy, straight shooter, transparent. So I don't feel bad about that. I did get booed, but that happens. Me and my dad go for cheesesteaks all the time, so I can't. I like cook.
Oh, good man.
Now, this is the very important question. I guess we're gonna have one more question from a buddy of yours potentially. Now, this is coming from somebody you may know, Lord Wida. Who is better at
Lord Wida?
Settlers of Catan, you or Lord Wida?
I was a young buck when we were Catan, so Lord Wida, of course.
Awesome.
But I would give him a run for his money now. You know, I'm a bit older. I'm a dad. I have a little bit more like dad wisdom. So we'll have to play again soon.
And you know, as
thank you.
Of course, guys who cover the team, we love watching you, but of course, as Cincinnatians, we really have that extra pull for you. So, blessings to you and your family and your career at FC Cincinnati.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, Nick. You have a good one.
You too.
All right, Bill. So how did you feel about that? You excited to have another Cincinnatian on board here at FC Cincinnati?
Absolutely. I think it's sort of a tradition now, but beyond that, you know, I mean, we had, you know, obviously Austin, and then we had now we have our third one, and I think Cincinnati loves Cincinnati. We love our companies, we love our food, we love our, you know, any products that come out of the city, and we love our people. So it's, you know, I mean, he is going to be special to this team just by that in itself, and the fact that he knows what a Skyline Coney is. So yeah, no, it's awesome. Definitely awesome.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't really say no to that question, Bill. So I'm no Nick Superling here, but we're having fun on Cincinnati Soccer Talk this evening. So I guess as we kind of go into this episode a little bit more here, you know, we got to have our I guess predictions going into our 2019 season. You know, so Bill, so far. You know, after seeing all the preseason, how do you feel like this team's shaping up for 2019?
Oh, yeah, I think the preseason is so hard to judge that, and we saw that last year as well, especially earlier on when Allen is just mixing entire rosters back and forth at halftime and such. You really don't have a sense of how the team is gelling and how the players are playing together. So I think it's really hard to make some judgments out of the preseason. Unfortunately, the most game-like experience we had was last Saturday against the Crew, where I think we might even had only 3 subs. I'm not sure. We might have done a little more, but we tried players 90 minutes, etc. Tried to play more of a starting 11 with a few subs. That was the most game-like experience we've had, and obviously that wasn't a very good measure of the players that we have, the potential we have, and I feel like, we're not going to be winning the league. I'm not even thinking we're going to like necessarily get the cup, but I said it earlier, a couple months ago, that I think we have a shot at the playoffs, and I feel like we still do. I mean, when I looked at the rankings out there, we have to beat 5 more teams, and there's a gap between number 6 and number 7 last year, which would put us, if we can, get ourselves together, get the team gelling, I have a feeling we can get some points, and we have a shot at the playoffs this year.
So I apologize for all the difficulties tonight. We try our best to put on a fantastic show for our live audience. So, Bri, Bill, thank you for driving the ship there in my absence. We want to hear from you, fans of FC Cincinnati. Get in touch with us, 513-399-KICK. This is your chance to make your predictions for the season. Where do you think FC Cincinnati is going to end up in the table? Who's going to be the leading scorer? Out Tom, Jack Emery, Mike Bowman, Kathleen Francis, Jesse King, Teresa Everidge, Matt Imholt, Matthew Long, and our newest supporter, who's actually our episode captain for this week, Joe Coling. Thank you so much for your support of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. We've got the Growler Cup coming up this week. We're going to be sending out that email, folks. So if you want to take part in this year's Growler Cup presented by Omni Printing and Promotions, get supporting the show, cincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/support. So as I mentioned, phone lines are open, 513-399-KICK, 513-399-KICK. Get in touch with us. We want to hear from you tonight. Let's go to the King's Hammer hotline and let's welcome in a good friend of the show. I don't know where he's calling from. Hello. Hi, who's this?
Well, hey, how you doing, boys? Silk and Desto.
Just what I needed on a night like this. Hey.
I love Silk and Desto on the show. How you doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing great.
Hey, Sue. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really well, Bill.
My wires get crisscrossed like them old rap group kids who are all grown up now. But oh boy, I tell you what, it has been a long time since we talked. It's been a long time since last year, and everything kind of came together and culminated this past weekend, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I'm at a loss for words now, Bill.
All came down to last weekend. I mean, it was a powerful moment. It was a big moment. And I'll tell you what, I have not felt so much pride. I have not been so excited. And I have just not been that emotional in a long time since this past weekend when Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper came together and sang them that song.
You're talking about the Oscars.
Shoot. Yeah, this is your Oscar special, right? Because soccer ain't started yet.
Right. How did you know, Bill?
That's what I've been listening the whole time. I know you haven't. You have some technical difficulties.
I haven't been doing anything apparently
talking about the Oscars.
So
but
Bill,
I
heard.
I was hoping to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I heard your parole and everything's up. Do you have any plans to travel to some road games this year?
Yeah, so I am out on parole. Not that I need the government to tell me where and when I can't go, but I will be in Seattle if you'd like to buy me a beer. I will be in Atlanta because I got a lot of friends down there. Anything below the Mason-Dixon is a friend of mine. And I will be traveling to Louisville this year, as well as Harrisburg and Sacramento. All the other expansion teams.
Sacramento.
Oh, poor guys.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have Sacramento in the league with us. I think they're going to be a nice compliment to Austin FC. Sorry that the crew had to leave, but right.
Oh shoot! So your buddy James O'Connor is now in Major League Soccer. Do you have any plans to travel down to Orlando?
I will probably not travel down to Orlando due to several issues back in the 80s regarding Disney World, and for a multitude of reasons, I am no longer allowed to visit either Disney World or the greater Orlando area. There's about a 50-mile radius I must adhere to.
Are there any other cities in Major League Soccer you're not allowed to go to?
Off the top of my head, the Canadian ones I'm allowed to go to, but I have no interest in it because if it ain't America, who cares, right?
Sure.
Well, just be careful in Seattle. You know, the those things are legal out there. You know, it might violate your parole back here. So just got to be careful for you. Looking out because you're a buddy.
Hey, you know what? What have I been telling you boys since the beginning? First time I ever called on the show. Make it legal everywhere. I'll enjoy it in Seattle. I'll enjoy it in the comfort of my own trailer. I do whatever I want. And that's what I told the judge, too. Now, he put this ankle bracelet on me, but look, that's the motto I live by. Hey, I got a quick question for you guys, because I've been having some trouble following the news lately.
Okay. We're ready.
Yeah, so when Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper get together to sing their song at Music Hall, are we going to be able to hear them, or is there going to be noise issues still? Are we still dealing with that?
That is a very good question. Bill, do you want to chime in here, Wolfman?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to hear a damn thing. There's going to be so much drumming coming out of the West End that it's going to be virtually impossible to hear them.
I've been hearing that the reason why Bill hasn't been on the show lately is he's been spending Monday nights in the gym getting buffed, ready to drum his heart out this year.
Yeah, and I've actually been standing behind Music Hall with my drum, just hitting it at times, just because it irritates people.
I'm glad to hear that, because I'll tell you what, y'all need some work. All those people who play drums up front, especially the ones who are yelling, what a bunch of lazy morons. I don't like any of them capos. They're terrible. You need to step it up. If you want to be a real supporter city like Louisville or Harrisburg or Rio Grande Valley FC, then y'all need to step it up. I'll tell you what, you watch that YouTube and you'll learn real quick.
Oh, shoot.
So we need comic book masks. No.
Yeah, you need comic book masks, because that's what real supporters do. But look, boys, I'll tell you what, it's been good talking to you again. Thanks for letting me come on the Old Man Ultras here. I'll tell you what, me and Ryan Lammy have got to get down to this Applebee's in Western Hills before it closes for good. So we're going to go out to the little Applebee's closing bash. I'll tell you what, I'll save some jalapeno poppers for you, and I'll bring them to you on the 17th. We'll just heat them up. They'll be good.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
the call, buddy. Stay out of trouble.
All right. Hey, yeah, God bless. Take care.
That's Bill Grindisco giving us a call here on the King's Hammer hotline. We've missed Bill. It's been a while. Kind of bummed he can't make it to the trip to Orlando, though, Bri.
Oh, I'm sure we can find a way. You know, he's got to go see his beekeeper buddy, James O'Connor. Maybe they can go and find a Radio Shack down there and see if James is working that job too. You never know how things work, but no. Glad to have Bill back. And, he texted me today he's going to be calling. He said he's going to be driving his Geo Prism all the way across country for this game. So, nice. Prayers to Bill. I love that guy.
Bill is the best. We haven't heard from him in a while. It was good to hear from him, though. Of course, big guest tonight, Nick Hagglund, another big guest tonight, and Bill Grindisco joining us. We kind of teased it a little bit before we spoke with Bill. We want to hear from you, though. What are your predictions for FC Cincinnati? Where are they going to finish in the table this year? Get in touch with us here the last few moments of the show, 513-399-KICK. As I was doing tech support / producing / hosting earlier tonight, I kind of caught the gist of what you guys were talking about there as far as where FC Cincinnati might finish in the Eastern Conference. Who's going to be the leading goal scorer this year, Bill?
I think Adi will. I mean, we've obviously he's our DP. We've got him kind of in the center there. We're planning on using him. He'll be out there for all the games. He'll be a focal point. I'm expecting him to score 15 goals.
Wow, 15 goals for Adi.
Sure.
I think if Adi scores 15 goals, we'll be in a pretty good spot this year, because I think Maddox has a chance to score 10. Lamar, he's up there too. So, I think that gives us a chance, especially because even though we had a rough defensive showing versus Columbus, I still feel like we're better than that, and we're going to be in a lot tighter games this season. So.
Yeah, I like Maddox, by the way. He would be another one that I would be excited to watch. My concern right now with him is he's holding on to the ball a lot. It seems like he's trying to almost dribble it into the box at times. I'd like to see him to pass it a little bit more. I think the one goal was it was it Charleston? I can't remember, but I think that was an assist off of him where he actually passed it to Audie, if I remember right.
He crossed it in front of Audie early. Yep.
I mean,
his goal was a PK. Yep.
Exactly. I mean, I love that he goes after players. I love that he takes them on. It's just you gotta have more than one thing, right? So if you just keep going and going and going at them, they eventually get it from you. So.
Well, again, we want to hear from you fans, FC Cincinnati fans. Get in touch with us on the Kings Hammer hotline, 513-399-KICK. We've got phone lines open, so this is your chance to make your predictions for 2019. So Bill's going with Audie, Brian. Who are you going to go with for the leading scorer for this year?
I think I said this last week, but I mean, I think you almost have to say Audie just the guy's going to get the chances, but Maddox has a chance. I really felt he had a really good game versus Charleston. I didn't think Lamar played especially well versus Charleston, but had some good moments in his next two appearances. And it's tough to view Maddox because he didn't really play much. I don't even know if he played at all in this Columbus game. He had all that time up top with no service versus Chicago. So it's tough to look at that. But I think those are your two leaders in the clubhouse. And I still feel like there's going to be somebody on this team that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Coach Koch is always on. I feel like every game, every roster, he's always had that one player that he really relies on, puts a lot of faith in, that impresses. Last year was Corbin Bone, who we didn't think was going to be, the impact player he was. So I still think there might be somebody out there that we're not truly seeing yet. Is that Eric Alexander? Is it Emmanuel Ledesma? Could it be a Fatai Alashe that somehow finds a run here, a couple games, and has the athleticism to maybe push forward a little bit more than staying in his defensive shell. So those are a couple things, and I'm excited to see how many goals our center backs are going to be able to log this year, especially if we can get some chances on some corners when you have Waston, Hagglund, Deplon, who looks like I think he had the initial header or shot in the 60th minute in that game versus Columbus. So I think we got some chances all over this field to score. Long answer.
A little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, we want to hear from you, 513-399-KICK. Let's go back to the Kings Hammer hotline. If I'm reading this correctly, we've got the Old Man Ultras on the show.
Yes, they did it.
Let's see if this actually works here. Let's see if we can get them on the show. Is this Bubbles?
Bubbles.
Yeah, this is Bubbles. Hey, Old Man Ultras are here. Everyone say hi. Hey, we've got Boston hostage.
Oh, you can keep him.
Hey, we will trade you Basta for Maca straight swap right now.
No. Oh, how much ham and gam do you want? We want some gam.
Oh,
we need some form of ham. Yeah.
Oh, he's a bartender, so he can bring whatever he wants with him, and we'll give you some funny money somewhere.
Did they say they wanted ham?
Ham in the ham. Pork sounds great. I love that.
Like a honey baked ham. I mean, we could throw a honey baked ham in to sweeten the deal.
Oh, I love that.
Some bacon.
Bacon. We'll definitely take some bacon.
So real quick, Ultras. I saw a lot of you guys were down at the Tifo painting. Y'all have a good time down there?
Yes, we had a very good time. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Well, you're going to hold all the secrets for your show, aren't you?
We're all sworn to secrecy. That's right. Jeremy will also. The chances of me getting this posted before the TFO actually comes out.
And Ultras, so you had a little too many beers tonight.
All right.
Love it.
Well, we want to hear your predictions.
Boston.
Yeah, we want to hear your predictions, guys. Where is FC Cincinnati going to finish in the table in the Eastern Conference this year?
Yeah, this is Schindler. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with. We're going to finish third from bottom. In the Eastern Conference.
If screw you for trading me. Apparently, if you finish third and the Atlanta United method. That's right.
Hey, this is Maka. I think we're gonna. I want to say we're gonna finish even, Stephen. We're gonna finish mid-table.
All right.
As in directly. Like, what is it? Out of 16 teams? Tell me. I don't know.
12 in the East.
What is 12 teams?
It should be 12.
How did I get 16 tickets today then? What's going on? I don't understand your football. I don't understand.
All right. Able to make it work. And do us a favor.
Well, you're getting Macca.
Yes, my hero.
And he's super sexy.
All right, then.
I think we're getting cut off a little bit.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy.
Oh,
The old
I
man
love that.
ultras. That was fun.
Kidnapping gone wrong. We've kidnapped your guy. We want money. No, you have to pay us to take him back.
Oh, that's so bad. We love Boston.
We do. We really do. We kid because we care. We do, right?
Kid because care. Yeah.
So.
No, I love it.
I guess as far as my prediction for the leading scorer for this year, I'm going to go with Maddox. I think he's going to have a big year for FC Cincinnati. I think he would have had a lot more goals last year for DC United had he bank on Adi being the number 9 up top and Maddox playing more of a wide, maybe more of an outside wing type role. I think a lot of focus is going to be put on Adi, and so that's going to free some. I don't see it happening. So I'm going to go, I'll say probably 9th place in the Eastern Conference. I still think they finish ahead of Orlando because I think that's a dumpster fire down there. And I still think they'll finish ahead of New England. Brad Friedel having a rough go of it there in the Northeast.
Yeah. Well, just like our stream this evening, I think our season's going to start out a little choppy and end on a high note, hopefully. But I like a playoff spot, and I honestly look at our max ceiling for regular season points as about 50. So if everything goes right for us, we win the games we're supposed to win. We maybe pull 3 points out on the road in Orlando or New England. I think we got a shot to get to that 46 to 50 range. But I think we're really going to need a really strong push after the summer, make up some points versus giving up points during that Gold Cup window, even though we're going to see Cruz, probably Garza, maybe a couple others out. This is a team, even though we had a rough start, trust the process, even though I hate that term. But I think we're about one creative player away from being somebody that can start churning off wins consistently.
All right, Bill, who's going to win MLS Cup in 2019?
Who's going to win the MLS Cup? Not FCC. I'm with Brian. I think 7th, obviously for that. Boy, Atlanta has what, 4 DPs now, so let's put them out there.
I think so does LA.
Yeah.
So Bill's going with Atlanta, which is he's taking the chalk. Okay, I get it. Understandable. I mean, they had a really good year last year.
Not much has changed.
Well, they lose Almiron, who's a really important piece.
Oh, yeah. So, I forgot he moved.
And they also have a new coach who, let's face it, over the last few years hasn't had a really good track record over in Europe. So we'll see. And that fan base, they're not going to put up with losing for very long. I'll tell you that.
No, the resources they have, the fan base they have, the stadium they have, they'll have another player in there soon.
Sure. In MLS Cup in 2019?
LAFC, I think. They're building on a lot of really good things coming off last year. Bob Bradley's a great coach, and I think they're the favorites.
That's a sexy pick, I got to admit. Part of me wants to say LA Galaxy because of the Zlatan effect. He ran into a buzzsaw in Portland there at the end of the year. I would not be shocked if Sporting Kansas City brings home the cup here in 2019. So that is my pick for 2019's MLS Cup. We want to hear from you, though. Feedback at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com is how you can get in touch with us. Let us know who you think will win MLS Cup, where FC Cincinnati will finish in the table, and who will be the leading goal scorer for FC Cincinnati. We're going to wrap things up here shortly, but don't forget we've got CST Extra Time coming for our live audience. We will get that corrected. I can guarantee you that. Find us on iTunes, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/iTunes, or wherever podcasts can be found. All right, time to wrap things up. Final thoughts, Bill Wolf.
Well, the old man ultras kind of jumped on me there, but for me, I think it's just about the Tifo night last night. I thought it was incredible how many people turned out for that. A lot of them only there for an hour or two. Kids and have to get to school on Monday, but it was great to see so many people show up. So many hands working together, a lot of people from different supporters groups. So it was great to see the different groups coming together. and it was a very nice output. So I was pretty excited by what we saw. It's the largest ever, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun.
Well, it was good to have you back, Bill. It's been a while. Hope everything is going well. I know you've been busy with work and whatnot.
Yep, working a lot of late nights. So,
well, we're glad to have you back. Looking forward to you heading out to Seattle, I think, aren't you?
Yep, I'm going to do Seattle. I'm going to do Atlanta. I was kind of hoping I'd be in a little bit better place with work by the time this happened, but it'll be all right. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So it'll be a quick trip to Seattle. I'm going to like Saturday and back Sunday. So, but well, it's what it is.
Appreciate you being with us tonight, Bill.
No problem. I always like it.
Final thoughts from Brian Weigel. Brian, thanks for driving tonight during the middle of the show. You did a great job with Nick, and really do appreciate all your help.
No subs, but I'll tell you what, though. I'm a little sick and tired of being the second twin here. You know why? Because I always get things last. FC Cincinnati comes out, gives all their season ticket box. Brad gets it. I don't get it. What the heck? I'm PO'd.
Oh, no. They might not have mentioned to you that they're actually withholding your box.
I would, yeah, it wouldn't shock me one bit on that one. But no, that looks cool. Looks like some pretty cool swags coming from FC Cincinnati, so I'm excited to get that. But they released these, I guess, league. What do they call them? Like hash flags, where it's like a hashtag and all that stuff. But they did a video with FC Cincinnati holding up a scarf, and it looked like there might be some sort of mascot coming for FC Cincinnati. So I was pretty down on that on that mascot coming to FC Cincinnati. Of course, Gary the Lion and all that stuff wasn't really high on that to start, but coming around. If my son loves it, that's cool. You know, I was so worried about it earlier on with FC Cincinnati doing things the right way and, you know, being the unique club. And guess what? We're already in the cool club in MLS. So no, I don't care. Let's do fun things. Let's think outside the box or inside the American whatever sports box, I guess, on that one. But excited to see what new and cool things FC Cincinnati is rolling out this year. So I guess we'll live with the mascot. I'm sure my son will be excited.
Well, I'm sorry about your tickets, Bri. Could be worse. You could be Mama Subs and her tickets being here in Toledo.
There you go.
Yeah, and she's been heckling me in the chat room all night about the poor stream. So keep it up, Mom. You might not get your tickets. So anyway, good stuff, Bri, as always. Appreciate you being on the show.
Problem, man.
My final thoughts this week. I go back to when we started this show back in 2016. And to think that here we are, it's MLS week. It's our first week as a club in Major League Soccer. Like when we first started this thing, we just did not. I didn't anticipate it happening so quickly, you know. And the fact that Saturday we're going to be watching Major League Soccer and our city and our team is going to be on the screen. It's pretty dang cool. So I'm just super excited for that. Super excited for the week of coverage we're going to have over at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. And, of course, I have to give a big shout-out and welcome to our newest member of CST, Jay Jones, joining us. He's going to be helping us out with more and more video content this year. Jay's done a great job of doing some FC Cincinnati vlogs himself on his own channel. And so we're really thrilled to have Jay on board to help us out with our video content throughout the season. So look for Jay this weekend in Dayton. He's going to be recording some fan cams for us, hanging out with Hanger 937. So look for those on our YouTube channel, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/YouTube. If you're not subscribed, go get subscribed. We're going to have more and more content there each week. All right, that's going to do it. My thanks to Brad Weigel for screening our calls tonight. And, of course, my thanks to Brian Weigel and Bill Wolf. We've got CST Extra Time coming up next. Watch your tackles, and we'll see you all next week. Hey, we're back on CST Extra Time. I think it's happening. Bri is relaxing. He pulled the microphone out of the stand. He's going to put his feet up. He's going to drink some Mountain Dew out of the 2-liter bottle back there.
Oh, you can see that.
Oh, we can see it.
All right. Have you even seen it the whole show?
There it goes. Down it goes. Well done.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Is that even?
Mountain Dew.
Okay, I was going to say, it looks like Big K, like citrus drop.
I only buy Big K or Diet Mountain Thunder or whatever from Walmart only when there's like no sales. So like I don't want to buy like 3 for $5. I don't want to buy 24 pack for $8.99. So I try to stock up. Like I think these are 88 cents.
I quit cold turkey drinking Diet Mountain Dew. I was drinking 10 cans a day. I can't remember. And it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Like the withdrawal I went through was unbelievable. And just from pop. Like it's not like I was smoking or doing tobacco or anything like that. It was just pop. And I have not had a drop of pop since. So I'm pretty proud of that. To go from 10 to 12 a day to cold turkey, that dude, my head was just tonight. By the way, I could not be more stressed out the street tonight. Just no luck. So if you stuck with us tonight, thank you for your patience. Let's get to our first. We didn't get a lot of them tonight. We only got 2. So let's get to our first one. This is from Gary Randolph. Best guess. Number of game minutes until FC Cincinnati scores their first regular season goal.
We don't want to say what we really think. Oh, shoot. I want to say... Well,
who predicted a shutout for Seattle?
You know, I think you got Seattle, and I don't think we're going to hold any possession in Atlanta. So I think it's going to be the third game versus Portland.
So you're looking at least 180 plus.
Yeah, I hate to say that. I really do. And I think Audie's somebody that's scrappy enough to pull anything out of his bum, but man, I don't know. We didn't really look really efficient.
What is Seattle kind of notorious for over the last few years, though? They get off to slow starts.
I would say injuries to Jordan Morris.
Last year, I believe, in the opening game, LAFC scored 2 on them, and they were an expansion franchise.
Oh, God. Please stop comparing us to LAFC.
No. I'm not. Seattle could nick a goal against Seattle. That's my... Wouldn't that be nice?
Right, Bill?
Yep.
Oh, the Gremlins.
So you didn't hear any of that?
We heard about like an eighth of that.
Yeah.
Well,
we were trying to be nice, but it's extra time, so I can say that now.
All right. Well, Bill,
let's go to the next one.
245.
Wow.
Oh!
So that would be in the second half of the third game, if my math is right.
Yes.
All right.
Why don't we just say the Revolution game?
Because internet's not cooperating with us tonight. This is from Jeff Tebbets. In a hypothetical situation, you have 3 DP slots to fill, but you have to fill them with players from teams you cannot stand. Who do you choose, CSTers?
Picking a DP from a team I cannot stand?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think if there's anybody in Major League Soccer I don't like.
I got 3.
Wow. Good for you.
I don't like the Crew.
Well, yeah, naturally.
But I would take Higuain. See a DP?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would take him. I don't like the LA Galaxy, so I would take Zlatan.
Okay.
And the other one, and now I'm drawing a blank now. I don't like Atlanta, so I would take Joseph Martinez.
Okay. I'll do somebody who's given us fits, and I'll take New York and BWP.
Oh, that's a good one.
Man, I don't think there's any teams that I necessarily don't like. So,
yeah, that's tough.
I mean, Zlatan would be great. Higuain would be great. Hell, I'd take Rooney at this point, but no, I mean, there's not a team at this point that I don't like. In fact, you don't like Columbus. I'm good with Columbus, except for 180 minutes a year. Other than that, it's Ohio against the world.
Nope.
Sorry.
No. I can't stand the Crew. Never have liked the Crew. Never been a fan of the Crew. Will never root for the Crew.
I know. I was a season ticket holder.
I know.
I still have scarves.
Don't admit that. I'll delete that from the podcast.
Yep.
I'm kidding, of course. Yeah, I don't have a hatred of DC United. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for their fan base for the longest time that you had to play at RFK. Got off to that great start when Major League Soccer started in the 90s, and then they've been kind of a non-factor.
Yep.
So,
no, I don't. I mean, they were better than Columbus. Have enough history with anybody.
That'll
to hate
change.
Them.
That'll change real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure. So,
all right, we're wrapping it up. Thanks for tuning in. We'll continue to work on the internet stream here. What a night. It's just super stressful, and thanks for sticking with us. Subscribe to the podcast where you won't even notice an issue because the audio is going to sound great. So thanks, Bri, for driving a little bit tonight. Appreciate it.
Down the hatch, brother.
Yep. In the meantime, we'll